We welcome all people into our beloved community of whatever age, race, class, ethnicity, physical ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or religious background. We welcome especially those joining us for the first time. We live stream our services, and those recordings are saved on our UCQC YouTube channel. If you do not wish to appear in the recordings, you may sit under the owl's nest in the back by the bookshelves. We invite everyone to join us downstairs after service. We have our vegetarian potluck today, and it already smells really yummy down there. And you can also join us for coffee and snacks and conversation. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thresholds. We cross them every day, from room to room and back again, from here to there, from anywhere and everywhere. We cross them from age to age. Each threshold offers an opportunity. It offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation, for what we were and what we are. It also offers us the possibilities of what we can be. In this hour and in this place, we cross a threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into a space and time attuned to each other, to the sacred and to the holy, and into the awareness of new life pregnant with possibilities. How will you be renewed in this moment? How will you be changed in this hour? How will you be transformed through community as we gather? Come, you longing of thirsty souls. Good morning, my friends. My name is Michele Townsend Grove, and I am thrilled to be here. Thank you for that. I use she, her pronouns, and I am grateful for your warm welcome. These words from Aaron Golf, I hope, will help us set a tone that shows that we are all in the midst of change and transition. And as you will hear in my message today, that has great possibilities, even in the midst of the challenges. And it is good that we get to do it together. So come, let us light our chalice and worship and feel the joy and power in this community. As Lori lights our chalice, let us recite the words to the chalice lighting. They appear in your order of service and on the display. In light of truth and in light of love, we gather together to sustain and to inspire.
Please rise in body or spirit for our opening song, number 1000 in the teal hymnal, I believe. Morning Has Come. The lyrics will also be projected on the video monitor. Please remain standing. In the spirit of love and fellowship, let us now acknowledge the holy in our midst by briefly greeting those around us, especially those we do not know. This can go on for an hour, so you may have to stop.
Okay, thank you. That's good to know. Yep.
Gates plays a little diddy thing that brings up Tiffany and that lets the kids know it's him. So he will do it too. Okay, that's helpful.
Good morning. Can all the kids come up?
Good morning. It's good to see you all. And as I said earlier, I'm Pastor Michele, and I am new to the congregation. So thank you for the warm welcome. And I am looking forward to getting to know each of you. I've met some of you, but not everybody yet. So hopefully in time, we'll have a chance to hang out and play games and do some fun things. In the meantime, I want to tell you something. I've been learning about all the cool things this congregation does. And one of the things that we're going to celebrate right now, we'll celebrate some of the other things later, but one of the things that we want to celebrate is that during worship, for part of it, there's this awesome religious education program going on in the rooms downstairs. Has anybody here ever been to one of those? Maybe? Look, yeah, go ahead. Anybody here? That's right. Right? And I am really excited about what you all are doing in that program. And in a minute, you're going to leave to see what today's all about. But before we do that, I would like to celebrate. How are you all at celebrating? Do you like to party? Do you like to? Good. Yeah, good. Okay. And we're going to ask the congregation to help us. We're going to celebrate all of those religious education leaders that help and make religious education happen. Okay, so I need you to help me out. Can you do, anybody who feels comfortable doing so, do you want to come stand with me and look at the congregation? And I'll show you what we're going to do. Only if you're comfortable. Come stand with me and look at the congregation, okay? Can you do it? Don't worry, they don't bite. Wait, do they? Do they bite? No, they don't bite. Oh, okay. Okay, stay away from the one biter, right? Okay, so look out at the congregation. Okay, and you're going to help lead the congregation because we're going to do a litany. Now, a litany is a call and response where we say something and they say something, and we need you to lead the congregation. So Tiffany is going to read the names of those who are involved with religious education, and then you're going to lead the congregation in saying back, "We are grateful for your leadership and witness." So let's practice. You ready? And we're going to practice with Miss Tiffany. Okay, you ready? So for example, she won't read this name because I'll read it for her. Thank you, Tiffany. We are grateful for your leadership and witness. Okay, you got that? We are grateful for your leadership and witness. Y'all got your part? All right, Tiffany, you've got a list of cool people who are working with RE, right?
Yes, I do.
Let's celebrate them. Okay, ready?
All right. So first, we have a couple who are already downstairs. So we have Gail. We are grateful for your leadership and witness. We have Rachel, who is also downstairs. We are grateful for your leadership and witness. We have Erica, who is out of town today.
Sorry? We are
Grateful for your leadership and witness. Wayne, can you stand up? We are grateful for your leadership and witness. Brian in the back. We are grateful for your leadership and witness. Greg McGee is new to helping us out. Greg, can you stand up? We are grateful for your leadership and witness. Alice, can you stand up? We are grateful for your leadership and witness. Is Darcy here? No? Okay. But Darcy, we are grateful for your leadership and witness. Becca, can you stand up? We are grateful for your leadership and witness. Laura, can you stand up? We are grateful for your leadership and witness. And finally, also new to helping us out is Josh. Is he here or did he go downstairs? Okay, Josh just went downstairs to be ready for the kids. We are grateful for your leadership and witness.
So the whole idea here is to continue to celebrate, and we'll celebrate not just religious education, but all the amazing things of this congregation. Now, there's one other group of leaders with religious education we have yet to say thank you to. Did you know that everybody right here is also a leader, right? So let's say thank you to the children and youth who are part of religious education. We are grateful for your leadership and witness. Blessings, my friends, and thank you for all you do.
Good morning. I'm Barbara Thompson, a member of the pastoral care team. As we gather today, we pause to reflect on what lies in our hearts. In this time of sharing, we take a moment to recognize our personal concerns and joys and to read from the book of concerns and joys, those personal life events you have chosen to share with us. Did we get anything online this morning?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Thank you. And I did check the book, and we didn't have anything shared in the book today, but we acknowledge each person's concern and joy that they have this morning. For what has been shared and for what remains in the quiet sanctuary of our hearts, we are grateful. Let us become aware of the energy that brings us together in beloved community as we share a time of silent meditation. May we open our minds and hearts to a place of quiet, to a silent prayer for the healing of pain and the comfort of love. You are invited to come forward and light a candle during the musical meditation that follows this.
This congregation is a theologically diverse religious community with membership open to all who are in accord with our values, mission, and vision. Our congregation is entirely self-governed through the democratic process. One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all of the financial support for our many ministries from among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and our institutional well-being. This month's undesignated plate offering will go to the UUA. Each year, we offer one of our Share the Plate designations to the UUA, from which we receive so much support. This is an opportunity for us to support their services and staff. From their semi-annual magazine to their annual General Assembly, there are a multitude of offerings. If you haven't looked online for something that might be of interest to you, I encourage you to do so. We invite you now to participate in the blessing of giving as the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of the congregation. Please be as generous as you are able. For all of the gifts of time and treasure that you give to this congregation, with sincere gratitude, we thank you.
So today's reading comes from the ancient Hebrew scriptures found in the Ketuvim portion of the Tanakh. Hear these words from the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verses 1 to 18. During the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land, and a man with his wife and 2 sons went from Bethlehem to Judah to dwell in the territory of Moab. The name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife was Naomi, and the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem in Judah. They entered the territory of Moab and settled there. But Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died. Then only she was left with her 2 sons. They took wives for themselves, Moabite women. The name of the first was Orpah, and the second was Ruth. And they lived there for about 10 years. But both of the sons also died. Only the women were left, without her 2 children and without her husband. Then she arose along with her daughters-in-law to return to the field of Moab, because while in the territory of Moab, she had heard that the Lord had paid attention to the people by providing food to them. She left the place where she had been, and her 2 daughters-in-law also went with her. They went along the road and returned to the land of Judah. Naomi said to her daughter-in-laws, "Go, turn back, each of you, to your households and to your mother. May the Lord deal faithfully with you, just as you have done with the dead and with me." May the Lord provide for you so that you may find security, each woman in the household of a husband." Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voices and they wept. But they replied to her, "No, instead we will return with you to your people." Naomi replied, "Turn back, my daughters. Why would you go with me? Will there again be sons in my womb, and they would be husbands to you? Turn back, my daughters. Go, I am too old for a husband. If I were to stay here and have that hope, even if I had a husband tonight and even more, it would be too late to bear sons. Would you wait?" Then they lifted up their voices and wept again. Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth stayed with her. Naomi said, "Look, your sister-in-law is returning to her people and her gods. Turn back after your sister-in-law." But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to abandon you, to turn back from following you. Wherever you go, I will go. And wherever you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Wherever you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord do this to me and more. So even when death separates me from you." And when Naomi saw that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped speaking about it. So, my friends, I'd like to tell you a story. There was an Episcopal priest by the name of Terry Fuller who lived in Darien, Connecticut. He lived in various parts of Connecticut doing academic work for years until he was called back to serve a congregation. And when he went into that congregation, the people were full of great anticipation. Would he be able to give a good sermon? Is that sermon going to be a sleeper, or is it going to be something that moves me? So he got up to the pulpit and everybody was waiting, and he gave a sermon on love. And it was wonderful. And the people were moved, and they also went, "Phew." And as Father Fuller stood in the back of the church, the people filed out and shook his hand and said, "Father Fuller, thank you for that message. Father Fuller, we are so glad you're here. Thank you for moving us." So the second Sunday he was in the pulpit, he got up and he preached that exact same sermon again. Now the people were there like, well, it was a good sermon. It deserved a second hearing. And so as they filed out, they shook his hand and said, "Oh, Father Fuller, what a wonderful message. Father Fuller, thank you for inspiring us." The third week, he came back and he preached that exact same sermon on love again. And this time, the deacons in the church were getting a little irritated. So they gathered in a side room to decide who was going to go talk to Father Fuller, and nominated one of theirs who's been there a while. And the gentleman who was to go talk to Father Fuller went up to him and shook his hand and said, "Father Fuller, you have preached the same sermon 3 weeks in a row." And before he could go any further, Father Fuller said, "That's right. And when we learn this one, we'll move on to another." Okay? Now, I will not do that to you, my friends. Maybe. No. More than likely, I will not do that to you. However, I want you to know something about that story. I began preaching in the 1980s as a part of a United Methodist Christian tradition. My father was a United Methodist minister, and I grew up in that tradition. And I then thought I was going to become a United Methodist minister. But then I did something that changed my mind. I read the Book of Discipline, which is the rule book for United Methodists. It's kind of how we all kind of live together and how we are in community together as United Methodists. And one of the things it said is if you are part of the LGBTQ community, then you cannot be ordained a minister. And I couldn't do it. I had dear friends who were gay or lesbian or by gender or all kinds of things in the community at college, and I knew their faith was strong. And to deny them that kind of call was just against my core. So I decided I could not join that. And what I did instead was I made an about face and went into religious education. And I found my call. So there it was in the midst of education that I knew I was exactly where I belong. Now, about a decade later, I also discovered that my theology was way more progressive and different than the United Methodists in many different ways. So while I was in seminary at Wesley Theological Seminary in Washington, D.C., I met a group of people who were Unitarian Universalists. Have you heard of them? Wow, they're awesome. They have so much to offer. So there was a group of about 20 UU minister students there, and I began to get to know them and to hang out with them and discovered that that's where I belonged. Because my theology was not Trinitarian. My theology was very different, and it was evolving and changing. And the idea of being a part of a congregation where people had different ideas and beliefs, that was amazing to me. And so I converted to Unitarian Universalism, and just a few years later became a religious education director at a UU church in Frederick, Maryland. So, my friends, my call has been religious education, and yet I am a massive believer that religious education is not siloed. Our learning is not something that happens in a room in a specific program, whether it's for children, youth, adults, whatever it might be. Learning for us, as people who are constantly exploring, happens with every conversation. You are in a religious education program now. We call it Sunday service. And I'm hoping that you'll learn at least one thing, even if it's somebody's name. Learning is a part of all we do. It'll happen down in fellowship hour. It happens at the board meetings. It happens at committee meetings. Learning happens when you're walking out in the parking lot saying goodbye to a friend. Learning happens when you meet them in the grocery store and you talk about something that you did. Learning happens when you're doing social justice events, when you are marching, whatever it might be. Learning is a part of what we're doing. So for me, religious education happens here and everywhere, and it's because we're learning that we're also growing and inspired. So now one of the other things then that I have done is to ensure and to be present both with religious education as classes and as programs, but also as it is incorporated into the life and breath of a congregation. That's a part of what I've been doing for the past 20 years. And just to give you a little bit about me, I am originally from the mountains of West Virginia. And I married an amazing man there by the name of Andy Townsend. He's here today. Look over there. Look, isn't he dreamy? Yep. So anyway, when we got married and we had our child, I was working with the Unitarian Universalist congregations in the Maryland area. Andy, a dentist in Martinsburg, West Virginia, then got the call to go work with the Indian Health Service in South Dakota. So we started moving, and that's how we ended up in the Midwest. We lived in South Dakota, we lived in Minnesota, we lived in Illinois, and now we live in Galena, Illinois. And our daughter just graduated high school and is going to college. Where? West Virginia University. Right? So if Andy ever yells out, "Let's go Mountaineers," Just let it go. Just let it go, especially if you're an Iowa State fan. So, oh, sorry. Okay, there we go. So I wanted you to know a little bit about me, because one of the unique things that your congregation has been willing to do is to take some risks. I am not an ordained minister because that's not my call. I am definitely trained in all the ministry things, both with a master's and a doctorate in theology. And yet, at the same time, it is religious education that pulls me. And one of the things that I find is that the church administration, the church as a place of social justice, is also a great place to be. So I am grateful that you all have brought me on board to be in community with you. And I believe that we can do some fun things together. But before I go any further, I do want to say the thank yous that I gave with Tiffany and the religious education program are just the start. Through my entire time of interviewing and getting to know you, attending board meetings, having conversations, sometimes we agreed, sometimes we disagreed, all of it was good. What I saw were amazing, dedicated leaders who love this congregation. So first of all, can you give a hand to Lori McCullum and the board of directors? The work they have been doing behind the scenes is phenomenal. Can you give a hand to your staff, your professional staff, who has been doing countless hours of work ensuring that your mission and vision is alive? Gates, Nicole, Jeff, the childcare staff, all of them. Can you give a hand to the program council leadership and the teams that make this place work and live into your mission and vision? Thank you to you all. And to you all as well. You're still here. You all are doing great things, and yet I also know it hasn't been easy, and there's been challenges, there's been disagreements, there's been fallouts. So that's okay. My hope, as we do our visioning together, as we look to the future of this congregation, that we can hold space for your different opinions and ideas and theologies, and we can have those conversations. That's my hope. And that we can be heard and that we can hear each other, both when we agree and disagree. For as a community, we are one and we are many. So it'll be fun and sometimes hard. I look forward to being a part of that journey with you. So with that, why the book of Ruth? Why the Hebrew scriptures? Why would I read that? This is an ancient story, and I will confess that I love the Hebrew scriptures. Part of the reason I actually went to seminary was not to get an ordination, but to actually learn the Hebrew and Christian scriptures in their original language, because I wanted to see what they really said, not what people were telling me they said. And I found a wealth of historic, beautiful, ancient storytelling that I'm still unraveling and loving. And today, I'm not going to unravel that story from my perspective for you, but I'm going to ask you a question, not to answer out loud, but within your heart and mind. When I read that story, how did it land for you? Was it a loving story? Was it a boring story? Did it trigger anything because you might have had a experience with a synagogue, a Jewish community, or a Christian community that did harm, and therefore, when you hear it, you kind of tighten up? Was it one where you are like, why is that here? Because were you? Or was it one that said, I hear some beauty in that, and I want to learn more? I will lay you odds that each of you heard that story differently. And in that, there is beauty in your perspective and the story and experience that brought you to that. I will every once in a while bring different stories, and some of them will land well with you and others may not. That's okay. I just want us to know the diversity in the room of theology and idea and belief is vital to us being Unitarian Universalists. If we all thought the same, there would be way too much missing. The trick is to take the time to hear our different ideas and to listen, to be heard, and to feel as if you are valued for what you bring to this community. And the answer is yes, you are valued. Now let's act in that. So I am going to encourage each of us as we journey together to listen more, to be brave enough to tell our opinion, but leave room to hear others, to affirm other opinions even when we disagree, to hold space for the diversity. And in that, you will find direction. You will find your next steps. And I'll lay you odds you'll find vitality. So will you hear about Father Fuller again? Maybe not. But there's some things that I might preach over and over and over, and you'll hear me say them again and again and again. And one of them is, you are valued for who you are and what you bring here. And thank you for bringing me into your community. Blessed be.
And now, please rise in body or spirit for our closing song, number 1074 in the Teal Hymnal, Turn the World Around. Great choice, Gates. Great choice. You may be seated for a few announcements, and I use that term loosely. The NAMI Walk on Saturday morning, October 4th, Marcy and Lisa Campbell are coordinating that, and they are hoping that you will join them at 9 a.m. at the Bend in East Moline. They would appreciate it if you could sign up and contribute any amount, $5 to $50. But you don't have to contribute to walk and join in a family-friendly outdoor activity. Participants will be entertained by the music of the Quad Cities Ukulele Club. Please let Marcy know if you can make it. The Quad City Interfaith Banquet. We have almost filled a table of 8, but would welcome others to join us. The cost will be $57, and you will enjoy the company of our new pastor, Michele, and hear from Reverend Dwight Ford. If you have not heard him speak, he's dynamic. He's the executive director of Project Now. And why do we want to support QCI? Without going into all of their current projects and past successes, I would say that the most important reason is that it works to create a systemic change as opposed to softening a current problem. A former minister of ours talked about working upstream rather than downstream. An easy example of this is food pantries are downstream, but solving the issues leading to hunger is upstream. Both are necessary, but QCI works mostly upstream. Again, see Marcy. Marcy, are you doing a lot around here? She's in fact. If you'd like to join that group on October the 26th at 5 p.m. for the banquet. After discussing with a few congregants, it has been found that we have enough people who are interested in starting some tabletop role-playing games, TTRPGs. With that being said, do you like telling stories, being in stories, hanging out, and being silly? It all sounds fun to me. Problem solving, rolling dice, doing simple math. Well, the UUCQC TTRPG D&D group. Don't ask me to repeat that. They will be right up your alley. We're looking to make this an all-ages group as well, but having the ability to read is a must. We are thinking of starting this on October 18th at 5 to 8 p.m. and continuing every third Saturday of the month unless it's a holiday. So break out your dice, dust off the player's handbook, sharpen your pencils, and get ready for some storytelling escapism.
And there is adaptation available for those who cannot see.
That would be great. Thank you. For more information, see Steve Pickrell. Steve, are you here? I think they're gone today. Or contact him. If you have an announcement for the Sunday service, you may put that in the UUCQC. But, I have more. Okay, now this is a really important one. Have you heard of the Sip and Savor coming up? Okay, raise your hand if you've heard of this. Woohoo! Woohoo! This is a tasting event. And for those of you who don't know what mixology is, you just have to go to this. It is one of our fundraisers for the year. So it's also going to be important for our finances. John, are you here? John, raise your hand. Everybody, that's John, and he wants you to go to this. It features a guest artist and includes sample drinks, desserts, and appetizers. There is a fee, $30 in advance or $35 at the door. And that it covers the cost of all of your drinks that night. And we are going to make sure you don't leave and drive poorly down this very windy lane. But it would be a fun evening, and we hope everyone will come. There's going to be some people downstairs with tickets available, correct? Who's manning the booth downstairs? We have, yes. So, Kathy.
It's open to the public.
And it is open to the public, so you can bring all of your friends. That would be great. Okay, there's more. In times of stress and uncertainty, coming together as a community can make all the difference. Pastoral Care is inviting everyone to join us for a community gathering aimed at helping us connect, share our experiences, and support one another through these challenging times. We'll be meeting on October 6th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the sanctuary. We also have a Mindful Makers group gathering on October 18th from 11 to 3. Everyone is welcome to join for an afternoon of creativity and fun. Bring a bag lunch and your creative artistic craft project to do while spending time chatting with other makers. If you're craft curious, that's okay too. They'll teach you how, or if you're willing to learn, you will have a great time. Just bring your own supplies and they'll help you get started. If you need childcare, that may be available, but you need to RSVP by October 1st to Tanya Talou or Mindy Pace. Now, the board met yesterday, and it was only a 3-hour meeting, which is really a miracle for our board meetings. And we would like to set up a working group to assess grant writing options that might assist us with funding some various capital projects. For example, The Iowa Historical Preservation Tax Credit Program may be something we would qualify for, but it's a bit of a heavy ask to have you come and help with that, because we have to write quite the lengthy application, review our history. I'm sure we're going to be tapping into archives and looking at all of the things we've done to engage the community all through the Quad Cities, through our church. So we need some people to help pull this together. If you're interested, see me and I will help connect you with that. That can be pretty significant. It can reimburse us up to 25% of the cost of some of our capital projects. So it would be great to be able to engage that. I think I'm done. That was a lot of announcements. So let me draw your attention to any additional announcements printed on the back of your order of service. And now, I believe I will extinguish the chalice.
So let us join together in the extinguishing chalice words that are either up on the screen or printed in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet together again.
And now, we close with words from Emily Richards. May you leave this time together changed. May the promises you have made to yourself about who you want to be feel closer to the reality of who you are right now. May you share that feeling of transformation wherever you go. May it spread into every word, deed, thought, and interaction until we are all changed, transformed, and transforming together, becoming our better selves. Go in peace. Please remain seated for the postlude.
I'm going to speak.